They came without warning. The Ixari Imperium had ruled the rimward sectors for 10,000 years. Their fleets had shattered species. Their slave armies had razed worlds. Their banners hung in the ruins of once proud civilizations. To them, humanity was nothing more than another minor polity, late to the galactic stage, a people still soft from their cradle, still fragile in their optimism. It began on the colony world of Illustra, a garden planet whose seas mirrored twin suns in golden reflection. The settlers, farmers, engineers, children, had no armies, no defenses beyond a token garrison. They traded peaceably with their neighbors. The Ixari warships descended like wolves upon sheep. They did not come for conquest. They came to send a message. The orbital bombardment lasted hours. Seas boiled. Cities turned to ash. Craters the size of continents scarred the land. They didn't even take slaves. They left no survivors. The Ixari commander's words, broadcast across every channel, were deliberate. Let this be a lesson to the Terrans. The galaxy has no need for their kind. Their expansion ends here. To the Imperium, it was nothing more than another warning, another intimidation tactic. To humanity, it was the last insult that patience would endure. Songs of mockery, the Ixari were proud of their work. Their admirals toasted the destruction in crystal halls orbiting suns harvested for their energy. Their senators laughed, dismissing humanity as weaklings too idealistic to muster vengeance. Humans are sentimental creatures, one lord scoffed, sipping spiced blood wine. They will mourn, yes, but they will not act. Not against an empire such as ours. Others joined in the laughter. For millennia, the Imperium had crushed would-be rivals, always facing immediate retaliation. They could not fathom an enemy that might wait in silence, and in that silence, humanity's whispers spread, in every colony, in every station, in every darkened council chamber of Earth. Words passed mouth to ear, message to encrypted relay. Quiet, but unstoppable. We will answer. The Ixari mistook the quiet as submission. They mistook patience for fear. They mistook whispers for surrender. They did not understand that whispers are the breath before the storm. The awakening silence. When the retaliation began, it was not heralded by grand declarations. Humanity did not roar into the void, they whispered. The first to fall were listening posts along the border. The Ixari commanders assumed malfunctions when their stations went dark. Then outposts vanished. Then patrols failed to return. Still the Imperium mocked. Let them strike our fringes. The core is untouchable. But in the dark, humanity had forged weapons never before seen in the galaxy. Sleepless for generations, Earth's think tanks and war factories had dreamed of annihilation. Fleets of dreadnoughts slept beneath black docks around neutron stars, invisible until summoned. Armies trained in silence, honing arts of war other species had abandoned. When the first Terran fleet emerged from void space, sensors could not count the ships. They blotted stars, their silhouettes a storm of iron. And before they fired a single shot, their message came across the galaxy's comms in a whisper. We heard you. That whisper, carried across empires, made kings tremble. The breaking of empires. The Ixari's first true confrontation came at Gyroth, a fortress world said to be impregnable. The Imperium stationed 200 warships in orbit, confident no power could breach them. The Terrans arrived with silence. No banners, no trumpets of war, only a fleet moving with surgical precision. When they fired, the heavens shook. Planetary shields cracked like eggshells. Dreadnought cannons punched holes through capital ships as though they were paper. In less than an hour, Gyroth was ash and debris. The Ixari sent reinforcements. Thousands of ships, their grand armadas forged over centuries. Humanity answered with fleets that eclipsed them. They did not simply win. They erased. World by world, fortress by fortress, the Terrans advanced. Their fleets moved like storms. Their soldiers struck like thunderbolts. Where the Ixari had once brought terror, now they tasted it themselves. Whispers spread among their people. The humans are not conquerors. They are executioners, and still, humanity said little. No speeches, no declarations of empire. Only the soft, relentless whisper, for Illustra. The fire that spoke louder than crowns. The Imperium's rulers, once immortal in their arrogance, watched entire sectors burn. Their fleets shattered, their vassals fled. And everywhere, the humans moved with the inevitability of death itself. They were not reckless. They did not rage. They did not boast. Their vengeance was cold, calculated, and absolute. The galaxy began to see the truth. Whispers had birthed this war. Not shouts, not rage. Quiet promises in the dark, carried by a species whose patience was vast, whose memory was longer than empires dared imagine. At the siege of Xylar Prime, the very heart of the Imperium, billions watched as the skies turned black with Terran ships. The Ixari lords, once clad in crowns of living metal, knelt in terror as human legions descended. No one dared speak when Earth's armies marched through the capital. No one begged, no one prayed, for prayers would not be heard. Only whispers remained. Illustra remembers, and with those words, an empire that had lasted 10,000 years ended in fire. Ashes and echoes when it was over. Silence returned to the stars. The Terran fleets withdrew as suddenly as they had come, leaving nothing but ruins and whispers in their wake. They did not claim the Ixari's throne. They did not build a new empire upon its bones. They left the wreckage as a monument to memory, a warning to those who might forget. And in that silence, the galaxy learned. Never again would they mock humanity's patience. Never again would they assume whispers meant weakness. For they now understood. When humans whisper, it is the last mercy before the storm. The Ixari's survivors, scattered and broken, carried tales of annihilation into every corner of the galaxy. They told their children, their slaves, their conquered vassals, never provoke Earth, never awaken their silence, never hear their whispers, for whispers are the beginning of wars greater than empires can endure. And across the stars, the galaxy held its breath, for the silence of humanity was more terrifying than the wars of gods.